Listen up guys, on top of G Fuel becoming Devil Hunters via the new Chainsaw Man energy formula, they've also become Rogue Ninjas. There's a Akatsuki flavored energy formula that you can purchase using my affiliate link and discount code down in the pinned comment and the description box. This is not a sponsorship though. If you do purchase something, use my link and discount code, I do get a small kickback, and I am an avid user of G Fuel. I'll usually mix it in with non-stimulant pre-workout since G Fuel does have just enough caffeine to get you going for a day, usually around 150 milligrams per serving. And these are two of the tastiest flavors that they've come out with, which is saying a lot because I love their Duke Nukem flavor that they had a few months back. However, you'll also be able to get some really cool anime themed merchandise, as well as energy tubs and different energy formulas of different anime to choose from. Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, My Hero Academia, Mobile Suit Gundam, Attack on Titan, and so many other series are available on the website. And best of all, unlike a lot of other energy formulas and drinks that are out there, there is zero crash because there's zero sugar in this one. Two really huge selling points of why I personally support G Fuel. In typical anime fashion, I am going to need you guys to send me your energy by clicking the affiliate link in the description and in the pinned comment, so you can buy whatever anime themed product you want. It doesn't have to be Naruto, it can be whatever anime strikes your fancy. And when you do so, make sure to use my promo code KAGE to get yourself a discount. Yo, what's going on everybody? It's your boy Naruto Explain here, bring you guys another Boruto 2 Blue Vortex discussion. And today I want to take a moment to take the focus off of what we got via Sarada's monstrous power up, and instead I want to talk about a moment that is low-key, in my opinion, gone under the radar, which is Boruto's decision to save Konohamaru in the last chapter and alert Jura with his presence. For so many chapters, we've been told that this is a no-win scenario for Boruto and that it will result in his death, and Koji was furious when Boruto left, which is why in today's newest Naruto Explained video, I want to expound upon this because there's more to this moment than I think some fans realize. As a quick reminder, the chapter review is up on the channel, so don't forget to check it out if you haven't already, because a lot of love went into that review, both in the breakdown expounding on a few things from the chapter, as well as the edit by the editor. Also, if you're a Dragon Ball fan, my new video over on Anime Explained continues the Anime's Most Wanted series by looking at the character Cell. Highly recommend that one. And for One Piece fans, my Pika Pika no Mi Devil Fruit Explained video is up on the Everything One Piece Explained channel, which is safe for anime only fans given where One Piece is right now in the anime. I'll leave those in the end credits of this video for those of you guys who are curious, as well as in the description box. Now, Boruto is in serious danger following the events of Boruto 2 Blue Vortex Chapter 21, and it's not just because of the immediate threat that Jura poses. We're gonna go deeper than that. It's because this moment highlights Boruto's internal conflict between his humanity and his destiny as a singularity of fate, and the cost of the conflict, it could be everything. So what we'll do now is obviously go through this point by point. So we're going to start with why Boruto is in grave danger right now. Boruto's decision to teleport to the battlefield, it puts him at extreme physical and existential risk, and here's why. He's facing Jura, the apex predator. Jura is a beyond god level threat, one that Boruto has intentionally avoided up until now. According to Kashin Koji's power, the 10 directions, every future timeline where Boruto confronts Jura, it results in Boruto dying in the Land of Wind if he goes out there right at this moment. Koji basically has a plan, and Boruto said, I'm calling an audible. Jura is not interested in a fair fight. He exists to consume chakra and begin the harvest of a chakra fruit, which would quite literally end the world itself. Then you also have the fact that Sarada's down, and Mitsuki, just being blunt, he's not enough. Sarada is unconscious after exhausting her Mangekyo Sharingan in order to defeat Ryu. She is Boruto's strongest ally on the battlefield, and she is now completely vulnerable. One might even say she is useless, not saying that just to say useless to meme, but she can't defend herself right now. Mitsuki, despite his sage mode, he doesn't have the firepower to stall Jura or protect Boruto or Sarada, especially when he's gonna be emotionally compromised. He still views Boruto as being an enemy. Then you also have the fact that Mitsuki just don't qualify for this fight. If this was a boxing matchup, then Mitsuki would be the guy who shows up and he's 20 pounds underweight. He's not going to be allowed to enter into the fight. Then that gets even deeper when you realize that Boruto has no backup. Shikamaru is all the way out there, and Konoha Kawaki still seemingly getting his limits removed, and the battlefield is completely cut off. Kawaki said, I don't just want Ishiki's full attack power, but I also want other enhancements to make me stronger than all these Shinju. Amato's got to do calculations and some more stuff to figure out what that power level is. I don't think Kawaki's going to be here anytime soon, depending on how long it took the Konoha Shinobi to arrive on the battlefield. They took the Thunder Train, they're there in less than a day. If they took the traditional route by feet, then it took them 3 days. Kashin Koji's presence, it is already pushing the timeline when you look at it. Boruto, he's right here and he's alone. He's effectively walked into a death trap willingly. And to think that Konohamaru slapped those handcuffs on him not too long ago. Gotta be super ironic there if you're Konohamaru. Now, the other thing here is that there's the raising of the stakes for the world itself, and most importantly for the plot itself. As you've heard me say numerous times, if you don't have conflict in a story, then you don't have a story at all. Every story, even slice of life stories, have a conflict. This isn't just about Boruto potentially dying. His death, it would mean that the world loses a singularity of fate. Kashin, Koji, and Boruto are described as singularities of fate, rare beings who can defy predestined outcomes. If Boruto dies, there may be no other force in the timeline capable of opposing Jura and preventing the world from falling to the Shinju and that most important chakra fruit harvest. It would also be a cataclysmic shift. Momoshiki could very well take over. If pushed to the brink, which would happen, Boruto will have to activate Karma, which could mean Momoshiki takes over. Remember, Boruto can't suppress Momoshiki when using Karma in a life or death situation. In a scenario where Jura overpowers him and his allies are unconscious, Momoshiki could seize control. That's the whole reason Boruto had to flee when Kawaki was cutting on the Karma seal. He can't control Karma. It's gotten worse since Boruto and Kawaki fought at the end of part 1. If Momoshiki seizes control, and say by some miracle he does defeat Jura, he could begin the process of a chakra fruit harvest himself. Because if he's strong enough to take down Jura, then what's to stop him from going to Konoha, knocking over the ramen stand, peeing on the grave that they had for Naruto's grave, peeing on the grave that they had for Hinata's grave, walking up to Kawaki, slapping the taiyaki out of his mouth, dragging this dude to whatever 10 tails is left behind, and telling Kawaki, night night bitch. Like, what's to stop that from happening? This would plunge the world into a different type of apocalypse, one where a revived Momoshiki in control of Boruto's body would reign. Now, the other thing here is that I've seen people say, oh man, you know, Boruto likely used a shadow clone. I don't think they did. Boruto likely did not use a shadow clone here, because Kashin Koji's very visible and visceral reaction to Boruto's arrival, that's a huge clue. If Boruto had sent out a shadow clone, Kashin Koji, a master of observation and perception, he would have immediately noticed and he wouldn't have freaked out at this point. Shadow clones also split the chakra evenly, so a shadow clone would have 50% of Boruto's chakra, and what's to say that Jura would not have a way of reverse tracking them. Koji saw the real Boruto arrive and he panicked, calling him a hard-headed brat, and that warning that he had in particular, basically that Boruto had endangered everything, that was not said by mistake at all. A clone wouldn't threaten the timeline in the same way. Boruto's real presence, that is the singularity trigger, and that is what sets off 10 Directions' very deadly future prediction, which is why we have to look at this next point here, which is why this contradicts Boruto's role as a singularity of fate. This is where the philosophical and spiritual elements come into play that Boruto's been playing with. So, singularities of fate, they're meant to guide, they're not meant to cling. As a singularity of fate, Boruto exists to reshape the flow of fate itself, not to react emotionally to it. By trying to save Konohamaru, he's interfering with the natural karmic flow that was meant to awaken Sarada's dormant Mangekyo Sharingan power and protect the larger future at large. When you look at how Naruto and Boruto use Buddhism, it's important to realize that Buddhism teaches detachment from personal desires and acceptance of suffering as a part of that path. Boruto, by contrast, clings to his attachments, risking a global samsara event for the sake of a single bond That bond obviously being Konohamaru, who does not deserve that man right now. Though to Konohamaru's defense, he doesn't necessarily know that Boruto's really Naruto's child. Now, the Buddhist parallel, it gets even deeper when you look at the concepts of compassion versus attachment. In Buddhism, compassion, it is viewed as a noble path. But when compassion becomes attachment, it leads to suffering. Boruto's desire to save Konohamaru, it isn't just altruistic, it's a emotional attachment. And by indulging in that attachment, he risks derailing the entire karmic cycle designed to defeat Jura. Narratively, this is a necessary crisis when you think about it. This chapter, it marks a crucial shift in the story's tension and themes. Up till now, Boruto, he's been calculated, strategic, and almost stoic to a degree, behaving like a shinobi who is destined to reshape the world itself, just as Koji's trying to guide him to do. But this moment reasserts Boruto's human heart. He refuses to treat people as pawns, even if it dooms a greater mission. This raises the emotional stakes. Can Boruto truly carry the burden of being a singularity if it means allowing his friends to die? And can the world save itself? Can it survive his compassion, or will that lead to Boruto's downfall? What does this do to the relationship of Boruto and Koji? One that is very turbulent. In conclusion, I'll say this. This is basically a tragic hero in Boruto, his paradox. Boruto's tragedy is that he has inherited power that is meant for gods, but he is still human. By stepping onto the battlefield, he risks dying at Jura's hands, ending the hope for the future that they're trying to set up. One where Boruto's able to defeat Jura and they can save the planet. He also risks being consumed, which is starting the chakra fruit cycle all over again and having someone like Code swoop in and be the bum that he is and benefit from someone else's hard work. Then there's also the risk of being overtaken by Momoshiki, who will finish what it was that Jura started. There's also the concept of losing control of his singularity role, corrupting fate with his own personal desires, which is a big no-no. And yet, it's that same humanity that makes Boruto as a character worth rooting for. He is the paradox of compassion in a deterministic world, a world that has lost hope because Naruto's been defeated, because Naruto's been sealed away. Sasuke, his shadow, has been sealed away into a tree. The world without Naruto is a world that is a lot bleaker than the one that we thought we were getting when we read Naruto chapter 700 11 years ago. And now that paradox, it might very well cost Boruto, and the world itself, he might cost it everything. Obviously, if you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing and clicking here to check out more videos from Anime Explained, or click over here to check out the Boruto chapter review, or click here up top to check out this video from my Everything One Piece Explained channel, where I talk about One Piece. Can't you guys tell I really love talking about anime and manga?